Top 50 romance quotes from books. There is no pretending, Jay said with absolute clarity. I love you, and I will love you until I die, and if there is life after that, I'll love you then. Cassandra Clare. When someone loves you, the way they talk about you is different. You feel safe and comfortable. Jess C. Scott. He's like a drug for you, Bella. Stephanie Meyer. I no longer believed in the idea of soulmates, or love at first sight. But I was beginning to believe that a very few times in your life, if you were lucky, you might meet someone who was exactly right for you. Not because he was perfect, or because you were, but because your combined flaws were arranged in a way that allowed two separate beings to hinge together. Lisa Kleypas. You can't force love, I realized. It's there or it isn't. If it's not there, you've got to be able to admit it. If it is there, you've got to do whatever it takes to protect the ones you love. Rochelle Mead. Some women choose to follow men, and some women choose to follow their dreams. If you're wondering which way to go, remember that your career will never wake up and tell you that it doesn't love you anymore. Lady Gaga. The best love is the kind that awakens the soul and makes us reach for more, that plants a fire in our hearts and brings peace to our minds. And that's what you've given me. That's what I'd hoped to give you forever, Nicholas Sparks. And I'm supposed to sit by while you date boys and fall in love with someone else, get married. His voice tightened. And meanwhile, I'll die a little bit more every day, watching. Cassandra Clare. I heard what you said. I'm not the silly romantic you think. I don't want the heavens or the shooting stars. I don't want gemstones or gold. I have those things already. I want a steady hand. A kind soul. I want to fall asleep and wake, knowing my heart is safe. I want to love and be loved. Shayna Abe. I have a history of making decisions very quickly about men. I have always fallen in love fast and without measuring risks. I have a tendency not only to see the best in everyone, but to assume that everyone is emotionally capable of reaching his highest potential. I have fallen in love more times than I care to count with the highest potential of a man, rather than with the man himself, and I have hung on to the relationship for a long time, sometimes far too long, waiting for the man to ascend to his own greatness. Many times in romance I have been a victim of my own optimism. Elizabeth Gilbert. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. Oscar Wilde. They didn't agree on much. In fact, they didn't agree on anything. They fought all the time and challenged each other every day. But despite their differences, they had one important thing in common. They were crazy about each other. Nicholas Sparks. I cannot fix on the hour, or the spot, or the look or the words, which laid the foundation. It is too long ago. I was in the middle before I knew that I had begun. Jane Austen. If you love somebody, let them go, for if they return, they were always yours. If they don't, they never were. Khalil Gibran. I can feel Peter press his forehead into my temple and he asks, "So now that you've got me, what are you going to do with me?" I turn into him, "Put you somewhere you can't get hurt." Suzanne Collins. When love is not madness, it is not love. Pedro Calderón de la Barca. Only a true best friend can protect you from your immortal enemies. Rochelle Mead. True love is rare, and it's the only thing that gives life real meaning. Nicholas Sparks. I was smiling yesterday. I am smiling today and I will smile tomorrow simply because life is too short to cry for anything. Santosh Kalwar. The heart is an arrow. It demands aim to land true. Lee Bardugo. Never close your lips to those whom you have already opened your heart. Charles Dickens. It isn't possible to love and part. You will wish that it was. You can transmute love, ignore it, muddle it, but you can never pull it out of you. I know by experience that the poets are right. Love is eternal. E. M. Forster. You know what charm is. A way of getting the answer yes without having asked any clear question. Albert Camus. You here to finish me off, sweetheart? Suzanne Collins. Say, provoking, again. Your mouth looks provocative when you do. Becca Fitzpatrick. Every great love starts with a great story. Nicholas Sparks. I stood still, vision blurring, and in that moment, I heard my heart break. It was a small, clean sound, like the snapping of a flower's stem. Diana Gabaldon. And he took her in his arms and kissed her under the sunlit sky, and he cared not that they stood high upon the walls in the sight of many. J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm not sentimental, I'm as romantic as you are. The idea, you know, is that the sentimental person thinks things will last, the romantic person has a desperate confidence that they won't. F. Scott Fitzgerald. My soul will find yours. Jude Devereux. Come sleep with me. We won't make love, love will make us. Julio Cortázar. When one is in love, one always begins by deceiving oneself, and one always ends by deceiving others. That is what the world calls a romance. Oscar Wilde. The very first moment I beheld him, my heart was irrevocably gone. Jane Austen. Sometimes I wonder if there's something wrong with me. Perhaps I've spent too long in the company of my literary romantic heroes, and consequently my ideals and expectations are far too high. E. L. James. I wonder how many people don't get the one they want, but end up with the one they're supposed to be with. Fanny Flagg. I've been fighting to be who I am all my life. What's the point of being who I am, if I can't have the person who was worth all the fighting for? Stephanie Lennox. I am not an angel, I asserted, and I will not be one till I die. I will be myself. Mr. Rochester, you must neither expect nor exact anything celestial of me. For you will not get it, any more than I shall get it of you. Which I do not at all anticipate. Charlotte Bronte. My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen unknown, and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me, that I must love a loathed enemy. William Shakespeare. So it's true, when all is said and done, grief is the price we pay for love. E. A. Buccianeri. By you, I am forever undone. Holly Black. Romance is the glamour which turns the dust of everyday life into a golden haze. Eleanor Glenn. Sometimes when I'm alone, I take the pearl from where it lives in my pocket and try to remember the boy with the bread. The strong arms that warded off nightmares on the train, the kisses in the arena. Suzanne Collins. Thus with a kiss I die, William Shakespeare. Have I told you how hideous you look tonight? Cardan asks, leaning back in the elaborately carved chair, the warmth of his words turning the question into something like a compliment. No, I say, glad to be annoyed back into the present. Tell me, I can't. Holly Black. Moments, when lost, can't be found again. They're just gone. Jenny Han. Sometimes you wake up from a dream. Sometimes you wake up in a dream. And sometimes, every once in a while, you wake up in someone else's dream. Rochelle Mead. In our time together, you claimed a special place in my heart, one I'll carry with me forever and that no one can ever replace. Nicholas Sparks. She wanted something else, Something different, something more. Passion and romance, perhaps, or maybe quiet conversations in candlelit rooms. Or perhaps something as simple as not being second. Nicholas Sparks. Romance is thinking about your significant other, when you are supposed to be thinking about something else. Nicholas Sparks. When it comes to men who are romantically interested in you, it's really simple. Just ignore everything they say and only pay attention to what they do. Randy Pausch.